Oh, son, if you have this tribalistic drive, ambition, this Genghis Khan type of desire to fucking conquer shit, there is no competition. There is only distractions to block your fucking path. People are weak nowadays. I love being a narcissist. I am narcissistic as fuck. This is probably gonna be one of my most controversial videos. I've made some controversial points in the past, but I ain't sugarcoating no shit. I ain't trying to be like a millionaire fast lane fucking YouTube guru. Or I'm like, you gotta make business. This is how you make business tips. There's already people doing that shit. I'm here to get you to beat on your fucking chest and go after your shit. And not beating on your chest in the sense of you look in the mirror and you scream affirmations and shit like that. Nah. You need to be honest and be going after your fucking goals. That's the truth to this shit. People are so weak nowadays. I'm a general contractor. In the heat of in the hottest part of the year in Texas, it gets up to 107 degrees some of these days, but I don't give a fuck. I work 8 hours up on a roof, building structures for people's homes, working, lifting 80-pound bundles up fucking ladders, all sorts of shit all day long for 8 hours. Before that, I'm up by 5 in the morning, and a lot of people will find this cringy. They'll be like, oh, you do all these habits, these like entrepreneurial habits and shit. Yeah, I do, motherfucker. I do my shit that I'm supposed to be doing. The only reason why people call it out and call this shit cringe is because deep down they're too pussy to fucking do it. They don't have the discipline and they don't have the fucking drive to do it. That's why I say I love being a narcissist, because I can sit down and just weed the weak. I can weed the fucking sheep out. I look over and it's like, you aren't doing a fifth of what I'm doing, and your coping mechanism is that you gotta be free, you gotta be spiritual, dude. It's not that serious. I made it that fucking serious. I don't give a fuck what they think. This shit's all spiritual. People do so many different things, so if I want to be the serious motherfucker that goes after shit and conquer stuff, I'm gonna do it. And if you have that same mindset and internal dialogue, then you have the ability to do it too. But you need some tools and you need some guidance. Do not fall victim to the ambition trap. The ambition trap is you're super on your fucking goals, super clear-cut discipline, guided on exactly what you need to do. But you get distracted. There's too many things pulling you in different ways. You have so many tools at your disposal that it gets overwhelming and it knocks you off your path. I've done this so many times before. I've been doing this YouTube shit I've wanted to do it for about 3 years now. I'll word it that way. Wording it that way is better. I had a whole year of just procrastination of what I want to do, what I need to do. Then I had a whole 10 months. I've been doing this for 10 months, actually recording them, where a good first 5 of those months were inconsistent, trying to figure out what I need to do. Then these last 3 months, where I've actually been consistent, videos every single day, after all that fucking full-time construction job, after waking up at 5 in the morning, reading for an hour, educating myself on different points of views, editing all my videos into clips before I get out for fucking work, then coming home from that construction job, hitting a workout for the day, and before this I was running like fucking 2 miles a day, but I kind of had to drop and pick and choose certain things because it was affecting my health. But doing all this shit, then making these videos, then allocating time for family and relationships, which is also important. But there's all these different distractions, different points of views that if you are truly ambitious, you will cut through the fucking competition. I promise you. You will have the mindset of smugness. And it's not a bad fucking thing, because these people are not you. You are unique and have different points of views. And they are not doing what they are truly capable of doing as a human being. Yeah, they might have a different purpose. They might have a different life path and different things they need to accomplish. But I guarantee you one of them isn't sitting on the fucking couch eating Cheetos, sitting there watching anime for 8 to 12 hours a fucking day, sitting there playing a video game for 8 hours a day because it's the weekend, I have time off. Fuck that, bruh. Nobody wants to work today. As long as you don't get distracted and lose this sense of ambition, you stay disciplined, you will fucking run people over. I promise you. Nobody wants to work anymore. Everyone has been conditioned by this pandemic to be lazy motherfuckers, bro. And I have real world experience of this from working construction. During this 3-year period since the end of 2020 to now, I've worked numerous jobs, but the longest stint has been in these construction positions that will test how much of a fucking man you are. Whenever 8 dudes are laughing because you don't have the strength to walk up the ladder with an 80-pound bundle of shingles, you will develop that strength quickly, my friend. I promise you that. In the old saying where it's like pressure creates diamonds and shit, that is true. People lack pressure because of the pandemic, and I was one of them. We were encouraged to stay at home and just chill out and rest, and the world is so scary because of the virus and all this shit. Lock your door, stay inside. Like it was the Contagion movie. When it wasn't that at all. Because you look around now, nothing fucking came of it. Nobody talks about the shit no more. Nobody wears masks no more. So obviously, it was just kind of, I don't know how political you are, my friend, but there are certain aspects you can view it. Why is there nobody talking about it? It kind of just seems like a waste of time to me, and it kind of programmed all these people into not wanting to work, into just wanting to stay in their houses. I remember, how many people did you see blow up on social media during this time who actually allocated their time instead of using it as an excuse to be home from school and play fucking Call of Duty or play Fortnite and just be like, well, I'm gonna graduate anyway. I'm gonna pass this grade anyway because they're passing everybody. So you just fuck off. Compare that to the people who buckled down and made something of themselves. You see so many influencers. You saw so many influencers pop up over this time in different genres, self-improvement, entertainment, fashion, all different shit on multitude of platforms all pop up. And why? Why was it? In my personal opinion, I believe certain people realized what was going on with all this shit. They realized and sat back and saw, and they were like, holy shit, I have a golden opportunity where everybody else is living in a world and realm of excuses, and I can actually fucking trot over them. I can bulldoze over them. And they did. You see people like Hamza, Andrew Tate, all these different people who fucking went after something. Because of this pandemic, everybody else was making these excuses. Well, nobody else is doing it. Well, it's chill. I can just chill and have it. It's dangerous. All this shit. All these excuses. And it programmed people to be weak. And back onto my point that nobody wants to work no more. In my general contracting job, I live in an East Texas town in the fucking country. And it is almost impossible to find good help. Almost impossible to find anybody that wants to work. And I've worked a couple fast food jobs within this 3-year period due to having to move and all sorts of shit. I didn't last very long because I didn't like taking orders like that. But one thing I noticed was how big of popcorn jobs these are. That's what I like to call these types of jobs, are popcorn jobs, where they don't really serve that much of a purpose besides giving a fat, lazy motherfucker a cheeseburger that's too lazy to cook at home or prep his food or make enough money to hire somebody to cook for him. They serve zero purpose, realistically. The food is trash. You're not gaining any nutrient from it. It's just overall purposeless. And you see, whenever you work in these jobs, people come and go. The screening process is so quick, and they hire you right on the spot no matter what, because they expect you to leave within a month, so they try to get as many people in. And they treat you like shit because they expect you to leave within a month. And most people do. It's a quick little job for them to get like fucking $2,000 in a month and just scram. And there's so many people occupying these positions while going to a college with this false premise that everything's going to work out for them. Everything's going to be okay. They've been conditioned by all these fucking movies that life's like a fucking Spider-Man where all of a sudden some magical event happens and your life is cool. No, bro. That's not how this shit is. If you truly want something, you have to buckle down and fucking achieve it. You are not, unless you are born with certain privileges, you are not given handouts like that. You will just live this same perpetual loop of depression and excuses and, well, I'm depressed so I can't get it out now. And it just becomes a fucking constant cycle of pussy. That's what I'm going to call it. The cycle of pussy weak men. Over and over and over. And then you see how that congregates out into other aspects of society. You have women that have reached the threshold of promiscuity. They're literally, women are so much, I don't really know the exact fraction. But there's a statistic where women are inertly less horny, less willing to have sex than men. And they have closed the gap on cheating and on how many bodies they have. That shit is not supposed to happen in society. And now you have all these whores, and now you have all these men being like, oh, women are whores, and it just culminates from men being fucking depressed and weak and having no discipline in their life, so they become promiscuous. Then they go out and they plant all these little bullshit seeds. And this can be a little bit of a ramble, but this is how all these perpetual loops and bullshit congregate out into society and make society weaker as a whole. You have all these people being like, well, I'm just going to use the pandemic as an excuse and just stay in my house and all this shit. And they've been pre-programmed from kids by their parents feeding them iPads and McDonald's so they won't cry. And it just perpetuates into this one big explosion of bullshit and weakness. I'm not really fully into one of these people where I'm like, the West is dead, all this shit. Because I live in a small ass town. And I have a lot of privileges that these Miami, fucking Los Angeles, Austin, Texas people don't have. Which is decent people and a moral sense of respect. I go down the street and motherfuckers nod at you. You go and talk to anybody in town, it's yes ma'am and no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. I love that shit. Yeah, I might not be able to go to a fucking club and fuck 100 women that week off at Tinder or whatnot. But I have a better society at my grasp in my surrounding town. And another thing is most people nowadays, they're so fucking programmed from this online shit that they're scared to go outside and be social by themselves they have social anxiety and I have a hard time talking to people. It's all this pussy shit. And it all stems back to people being programmed to be weak. And now people like me and all these self-improvement people have made a community through just helping weak people not be weak. And it really just comes back to this realization I made. You will never solve people's problems unless you create the problems. Well, society has created the problem of weak people, and now you have all these people like me and shit like that, where they try to enable the weak people and be like, come on, dog, come on, I'm rooting for you, you can do better. Fuck that. I gave up on them people. I gave up on those people and I looked down on those people. Now I'm trying to channel through all this bullshit and find a like-minded group of individuals to grow and prosper that have this Genghis Khan sense of ambition. Because nowadays, you say all these buzzwords like I say and any negative thing, people get offended. People are like, that's cringe. People say all this shit. But then you see, every once in a while, you see truth spark up, like a Zerka, John Zerka. He's been popping up recently, where he just says outlandish shit, and a lot of it's for shock value and entertainment. But he'll say certain points that they break the norm so much that people are drawn to him. They're like, there's got to be something there. And there is. It's all these people who have a sense of all these people who are tired of being fucking hampered down and everything, and deep down, they have this drive and this sense to do something better. But because they aren't doing it and they aren't following that path, they're depressed and they're like, oh, they're like a fucking rat in a cage. Like the song, but the butterfly with wings, I'm just a rat in a cage. That's what everybody feels like now. And more than half of the population has just accepted it as fact, chose to go with the norm. I'm going to work my shitty fast food job while also going to college because eventually I might be able to make $70,000 a year and then I'll be happy with my wife and bullshit. All this shit's coping mechanisms. As men, we all have the true desire to do something more. And if you say otherwise, then oh well, go fuck yourself, don't watch my videos. But if you truly agree with my message and align with it, let me give you the tools to actually persevere through this. First things first, you need to find a couple things. You need to find a community, and you need to find some sense of mentorship or in better words, someone to guide you through all these distractions you have. Because if you're a young man like I am, I'm only 20 years old, it's hard to admit, but we are very impressionable. You see this impression with young men play out in someone like Sneeko. Sneeko is drawn in all these different places. I used to watch his videos a lot. I kind of limit it because I don't really like him that much no more. But whenever you truly think about it, you watch his life as a whole. He's drawn this way. Then he thinks he's a Muslim, and then he's drawn this way. Then he wants all this clout from this person. He's drawn this way. And you see someone say something to him that resonates, and he completely changes his view on life over it. And that's We can laugh and make fun and be like, haha, what an idiot. Whenever, if you're really honest and you're not a fucking pussy, you'll say, you know what, I'm kind of like that too. People will say shit like that to me too. Because again, going back to the you can't solve people's problems unless you create the problems, we have been pre-programmed to solve these made-up problems of happiness. If this was 1,000 years ago, we wouldn't have had all this complication of me having to be dystopian and make videos online to people or anything like that. We'd just be in our fucking select tribes. We'd all have a fucking wife and whatnot. We'd have kids and we'd be prospering in our own little tribes branched off from different parts of the world. But shit's not like that. We have so many different complications. Industrial Revolution, Uncle Ted, all sorts of crazy shit that has culminated into mass confusion, mass distractions. People cope and they watch all these different streamers and all this shit to cope and keep themselves where they think they're straight, but then it's not very hard to disalign them and swing them off their path. This is one affliction that I dealt with. For so long, I was in bad habits through this solid 3-year chunk of growth where I was finally broken free of just working these shitty jobs, and I desired more and unlocked my true desires and ambition. I've been swayed so many different ways, enabled so many different ways through different content sources and different things I've absorbed and digested online. One of the things is about 10 months ago, whenever I first started these videos, I understood what I needed to do, and I was swayed so many different ways through like entertainment and haha, this is funny, to where I fell straight back into drinking alcohol all fucking day. I fell straight back into beating my meat like a little monkey, and I started doing all this crazy shit again that if I had discipline and I had the knowledge of what I'm doing and realize that if I had the discipline, I wouldn't have been doing it. And there's different tools that I accumulated over time. Like now, I don't have any vices at all. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke weed. I don't beat my meat like a fucking monkey. I limit the content I watch. People in 2020 would call it like a dopamine detox, but I'm in perpetual states of that. I will not watch this shit if I do not have any sort of value from it and it's just like purely entertainment and it's just for laughs and shit. I won't watch it. I need to learn some sort of thing or get some sort of differing perspective from it. But a lot of people will just mindlessly consume things, just like they will mindlessly beat their meat to women online, just like they will mindlessly consume alcohol in copious amounts, just like they will stay medicated with weed all fucking day and be like, dude, I'm just high and medicated. Stay high. I gotta be high to do that, dog. And it's lame. It's all just loser shit. And they can't handle the true thoughts of their mind unleashed sober from all the distractions. But if you truly have this sense of ambition, the best tool you can have is discipline. Discipline to say no to things. All discipline is the ability to say no to things. No, I'm not going to beat my meat. No, I'm not going to fall into the cycle of scrolling TikTok to find bitches on Twitter to beat my meat to. No, I'm not going to fucking drink alcohol. Shit, I can go in a fucking bar and not drink alcohol whenever everyone's pressuring me to drink shots. I can hang out with a bunch of dudes smoking weed and not be pressured to smoke weed. And that just all comes down to discipline. Now, one major thing that is a tool that will help you is we're all searching for meaning. Whether you're an atheist, a Christian, whatever, none of us have died, so we don't know what happens after death. None of us understand the meaning to life. Some say this is the meaning, some say there is no meaning. But since we have no answers to these things, the questions will always cloud our mind. And with them being clouded, you can either choose to constantly distract yourself by what's the meaning of life, what happens after death, read all these psychology books, read all these philosophy, which I still read. But there is one thing you can do, which is simplify it all down to religion. I've simplified it all down to Christianity. I first fell into like Muslim because I was like, oh, it aligns with everything I do, the discipline and all this shit. And then I kind of just, Christianity was more interesting to me. The story of Jesus and all this shit, it was more interesting to me. So I chose to do that to simplify my life down. Now I'm working on building my faith. But all this different distractions on the meaning of life was one thing that kind of just would push me into nihilism all the time and just kind of take away from my ambition and my drive and my work. But then again, if you limit distractions and simplify all this extra bullshit, you will have a much more peaceful and much more impactful time through growth, self-improvement, whatever venture you are. And Christianity to me also gives me purpose. I'm doing all these videos for these people online. I'm doing all these videos for you guys online, trying to educate you and share my points of view. And Christianity has unlocked a whole new purpose in that. I can, one, spread the message of Jesus Christ and all this shit to help simplify your life and make your life easier and better with more purpose. And I also have purpose in also spreading positive messages to young men online. So it's a win-win to me. So, you have all this advice and these tools and shit like that, and that's good. Now I'm going to leave you with one thing, which is a simple diagram. I want you to stop trying to over-optimize, overdo and do all these different little things all at once, and I want you to pick one true thing to focus your purpose on and go straight for that. Think Khabib. Khabib won. You've heard the analogy from Andrew Tate. The reason why Khabib beat McGregor is McGregor's doing all these different business ventures and drinking and all this shit, and Khabib is train Allah. Train Allah. Train Allah. He trains his MMA and he worships God. He does that. Think about Kobe Bryant or LeBron James whenever they're starting out and they're wanting to be Hall of Fame, recognized for the rest of time in their sport and their field. Do you think in the beginning they were like, all right, I'm going to do this basketball shit, then I'm going to play guitar, then I'm going to do paintings, then I'm going to do all this different shit? No. You hear the stories about Kobe Bryant in the gym, the first one to get there, last one to leave. Same thing with LeBron. These people focus on one specific thing and do it. I'm going to give you an example. We're going to draw two circles. These two circles, I don't know if you can really see them in the camera, but these two circles are you. Now, one of them, we're going to go and you're going to put all of your focus into one line. You see how this, you actually got so far on this thing. Holy shit, you accomplished so much. And then on this other one, let's draw a bunch of little spikes going out to different things. You see how these, they didn't really get anywhere. They made very incremental progress, not much at all. But this one, it went straight up to their fucking goals. You have to stop trying to distract yourself with all this different shit. You have to stop trying to, oh, I gotta optimize this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, blah, 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 blah. No. One specific purpose, one path, discipline through all. You can do, of course, you can do habits. You can do good habits. Read, meditate, journal, work out. You can do these things. But once you try to add different sorts of purposes in there, it fucks them up. And the only way you can valuably have them in there, for me, I have these videos, my general contracting gig. That's my two main things. I'm working out of the general contracting gig into this. But I also have this super big passion to make music. I have this super big passion to do oil painting. Half of it comes from me wanting like a quick fucking escape of money. Me wanting a bunch of money. Oh, this might be the thing that'll work out for me. This might be. So let me just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. And I had to make that realization that's what I was doing. I'm not doing this because it's truly what I want. I'm just desperate. And now I've chosen to stay with one simple thing. One simple fact. Stop trying to throw a bunch of shit at the wall and just throw one fucking thing at it. I promise you, you throw that one thing enough times, it will stick. You throw a bunch of shit, it probably will not all stick. It won't all stick. So keep on grinding, old son. I've changed my sentiment. For a while, my mission statement was chase paper and enjoy nature, which I still agree with in some sense. Chase paper, enjoy nature. Chase paper, money's the thing that'll buy you freedom to do with it whatever you want. And along the way, enjoy nature, enjoy the small things. And it is a little corny statement. I've changed that statement up completely to chase paper, express yourself later. What this means and why I've kept the paper part, I kept the paper part because you need your money. You need your freedom. Money buys time. Money buys you the ability to focus on this passion without worrying, how do I afford paying the bills? How do I do juggle all these things and juggle my relationships in life? How do I do that? You got to chase the paper. You got to build some sort of generational wealth, some sort of financial stability to where you feel comfortable. That's what we're all doing. And I believe the little amount of people that will watch this, if we all band together or if we all go after our true desires, we can accomplish that. Now, the express yourself later. Do whatever adventures you want after you get the money. We're not trying to wait till we're fucking 50 years old to get money. We're trying to wait until we have enough or we can dictate our time to these other avenues. I'm not one of these 4-hour work week faggots where I preach, oh, work 4 hours a week, then you can fence here, then you can go to fucking Guatemala and fuck whores. No. That's gay. That's not going to make you feel fulfilled. That's not going to make you feel prideful. Work hard and achieve money to buy your fucking time and your freedom back, and then find another avenue. Either retire and do all this little artistic shit, or reset and go after a bigger fish. Chase paper and express yourself later, and have a great day, my friend.